It is Nintendo Direct time on Thursday, September 14th at 7 AM Pacific time. And given that Derek and I have already recorded our predictions back when this Direct was rumoured, and you can check that out if you want to, let's do some brand new predictions for an officially announced Direct. This will feature Ash, Steve, and Daniel. So, take it away, fellas.
Let's go ahead and get together and talk predictions. Now, we already do have another predictions video up there, or out on our channel. Derek and John did record some stuff last week, but we wanted to get our thoughts out there too, and particularly you, Steve. We haven't been able to have you for a while, so we're so happy to have you back. And what better way to bring you back than with direct predictions, because direct time is always so fun. Now, a quick note before we start. Obviously, there have been leaks circulating around there. We're obviously aware of them. If you want to go check out what those are, we do have another video up on our channel. You can go check that out. But in the interest of not spoiling anybody who doesn't want to be spoiled, we are not going to be talking about those leaks in our predictions. However, at the end of the video, and don't worry, I'll give you a spoiler warning, but at the end of the video, we are going to speculate on those leaks. But again, there will be a big warning before that. And in the meantime, we're just going to talk about our predictions and not go into those leaks right now. So, with that said, Steve, we have missed you so much, man. You are the man of the hour. Go ahead and kick us off with your first Nintendo Direct prediction, man.
Ooh, man. Well, thank you. It's good to be back. I'm glad to see everybody again, even if I'm living in a blinding white void right now.
Right.
So I think my first prediction, and I don't know if this came up yet because I've been kind of unpacking and doing everything, we got to get more details about that Princess Peach game. I mean, they gave us so little to work with. I don't, just anything, like a crumb of information about that. I feel like right now, I don't expect a release date. I don't expect anything like that, but I do expect to at least learn maybe what the gameplay loop of that is. Maybe even a name for the game, because it feels weird that they just kind of dropped it out there at the last Direct with nothing. Like the Mario Direct was just like, hey, we're making a Princess Peach game. Here's literally 2 seconds of it. So I think we'll get that. I think that is almost certain that they'll at least pull the veil back a little bit more on that upcoming Peach game.
They really just packed in Princess Peach, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and Mario RPG just as a trifecta, just for the sake of having Mario, Luigi, and Peach in one announcement. And they didn't elaborate anything on Princess Peach at all. But I feel like I'm not sure if we're going to see anything, at least until after Mario Wonder is out, and until also Mario RPG, maybe even past then, just to give the highlight to them. And I would like to know more about Princess Peach, but I'm not sure if we're going to see anything quite yet. I just won't be surprised if I don't see Peach in the next Direct.
I could see it being mentioned, but I don't know that we'll get like a release date, or like I don't think we're that far along. And it doesn't sound like you think we are either, Steve, right?
Yeah, I think at most we get a little bit more gameplay and we get a name for the game. I don't think we're getting a release date, even a release window beyond 2024. I don't think we would get if it shows up at all, because I do think it's one of those ones where I'm like kind of 50-50 on it. I could see it going either way.
I do feel that we'll at least get a name. It will be nice to not call it Untitled Peach Game. I would like to identify it as something going forward from here. But yeah, I know what you mean.
That would be very nice indeed. Well, Daniel, since you're already talking, man, why don't you hit us with a prediction?
Oh gosh. So I'm not gonna hit everyone with the F word with this one, Fire Emblem, for this prediction. I'm just gonna leave that be for now. But I feel like one of the more obvious ones we might see is Where in the World is Splatoon 3 Side Order. I've been waiting to see something about that, and we just had the first anniversary for Splatoon 3. Just had their Splatfest wrap up. Team Shiver won, of course, and we're not sure what to look forward to from here. And I think what we can really expect is to see what is Side Order. We still don't really know nothing about it except for like some vague art aesthetic about it. Like, where's Pearl and Marina? We've heard like nothing of them in this game for this entire time, and I think it's just a better time than any to find out what exactly this is and what it entails. And if it's anything like the amount of content that Octo Expansion was and how rich it was in its content, then we could have something really awesome coming up for this game.
I agree. You stole my first prediction, man. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh no.
Although what I have written here is that we're gonna get a side order like new trailer or release date for the Splatoon 3 game for the Nintendo Switch family of systems. Because you got to say it, the official way, right?
Well, right.
But no,
Oh, no.
I couldn't.
Gonna-
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think we're gonna see an update on side order, maybe even get a release date, and I hope so because single player content is what I personally go to Splatoon for. I'm terrible at multiplayer, but I sure do love Splatoon's single player campaigns and DLC campaigns. So I think that's a pretty solid prediction. What about you, Steve?
I agree. It was on my list as well. I wanted to open with something a little more outlandish since I haven't been here for a bit.
Right.
But Splatoon 3 DLC, I feel like it's past time for us to learn more about it. It's really weird how little we know about that, considering the game is, as Daniel mentioned, now a year old, and it's, people aren't paying as much attention to it. So it's weird that we have so few details about that DLC. I'm also really curious to see if it's going to be free on NSO the same way Octo Expansion was.
That'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I could see it going either way. Maybe that side order would be available a little later on for NSO, just to get that initial batch of sales from people who are super hype about Splatoon 3 getting new DLC, and then maybe later on they throw it on there. But it could be from launch. That would be really cool. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and throw out my first non-Splatoon 3 side order prediction. It's kind of a safe one, but I think we're going to get a new trailer for the Super Mario RPG remake, showing off that it's a little bit more than just the game remade. I think there's gonna be a little bit more to it. I'm not saying like new dungeons or new bosses or anything like that, but I think there might be something to it like accessibility features or just some window dressing to kind of update the game in a quality of life way. I just think it's going to be a little bit more than just the game remade, which by itself, or obviously by itself, is super cool and I can't wait. But I think it's going to be a little bit more than just that, and I think we'll get a new trailer showing off some areas, hearing a little bit more of the new music, and maybe just showing some features, some quality of life features that kind of bring the whole package together.
That's an interesting point you're making. I had in my mind, I didn't write down a list for this one. I really should have. But I had in my head that we would see some of the cameos, like not like in detail, but I think that in a trailer they'll show one or two of the cameos that were in Super Mario RPG. I keep hoping to see Samus in the remake. So
yeah.
I really want to see that happen, but I do think we'll see a lot more of Super Mario RPG at the Direct, because we're 2 months out and we know there won't be another Direct between now and then. So I think this is their going to be one of their big pushes before we get the launch trailer.
Yeah, well, you got to see Boshi. Hopefully Boshi makes an appearance in this new trailer, because he's the one I'm waiting to see. Any thoughts on Super Mario RPG, Daniel?
Oh man, I love any and all Mario RPG games, so seeing any more of that is always going to be a treat. Honestly, I mean, they could show me nothing and I'm still going to get this day one, but I'm excited to see what else they want to share for it, just because now we're not going to there's not going to be much Mario at this Direct, assuming because we already had the Mario Direct itself earlier, so that's not going to be, Wonder's probably not going to be showing up in any capacity, so we'll have to put more of a spotlight on RPG, and I'm excited to see what else they'll show for this. Yeah, some key areas, probably just actual gameplay in motion, a little bit more of that rather, because there were some battles they showed in the previous trailer. But yeah, I want to see what else we have, what else is in store, because like we know that they're animating more to this, and there's some context of animations that we saw that I don't know what they're connected to. If it's like a new cutscene, is this part of an attack? There's a lot more to be seen for this, and I want to know. I just want to see more of our boys Gino and Malo.
Oh yeah. Now, Steve, I was going to throw it back to you, but I actually had a response to what Daniel just said on another prediction of mine. So, Daniel, I want to be clear. You don't think we're going to see Mario Wonder show up in this Direct?
I don't think we'll see much of it, if at all, because we already saw so much in its own dedicated Direct just the other week.
Right. That's true, and that's a good point. I was just wondering maybe if we'll get like one last trailer, because there's one, at least to my mind, there's one key character missing from the playable character lineup that I feel like should be in the game that we haven't seen, and so maybe this is a little bit more out there, a little bit riskier, but maybe one last trailer showing Rosalina as playable? Like, it's weird that like Daisy and Toadette are there. They're great, love them, but like Nabbit's there. but not Rosalina. And this would be the first time that she would be playable in a 2D Mario game, and I think it's time, right?
Oh man, we're gonna get another post-game
Yeah.
Rosalina drop on a Galaxy stage.
We just
That's what
might,
they're gonna do.
Yeah.
That could be. But yeah, I was thinking maybe they'll do one more trailer showing like one more character. But again, if they wanted to keep Rosalina hidden, obviously they're not going to show that in a trailer, and we'll just have to play the game and find out if she's in it. But yeah, so I had that on kind of my like slightly risky predictions list, but we'll see what happens. Steve, hit us with another one, man.
Oh man, so I have to co-sign on this one because I think either John or Derek mentioned it in their video, but it's time for info on level 5 games.
Yep.
I mean, Deca Police still has a nebulous 2023 release date, and we're running out of 2023. So I have a feeling we're going to get a huge update on that with a proper release date. I'm keeping my fingers crossed here because the alternative is the announcement of a delay at some point. But I think Deca Police, I think we get another look at Layton possibly. Because I think Layton plays a lot better than new level 5 stuff. So I think we get kind of updated mini looks at Fantasy Life and Layton, but we get a whole lot more info on Deca Police. I think the production values on that game are insane. That reveal trailer was out of this world cool looking. So I think that we're gonna get a release trailer essentially for that game, giving us a release date, letting us know when we can get our hands on it, and in particular because John, I believe it was in our previous video, mentioned that TGS is around the corner, and there's almost zero chance that level 5 doesn't have a ton of stuff to show there, given how much they were featured, not counting this Mario Wonder Direct in the last Direct. So I think we are due for a lot of info on what they've been cooking.
I agree. I really want to see more of that game. Like you said, that reveal trailer was super cool, and the game looks very, very interesting. And it's past time that we get more information on that. And Layton, just to have Layton coming back is super exciting. Any thoughts on all this, Daniel?
Yeah, I was more interested in Deca Police than I expected to be, and more so knowing that level 5 is working on it. And yeah, it looks like that level 5 is going to be showing off these games, Deca Police, Professor Layton, New World of Steam, and other games as well at the Tokyo Game Show, like Fantasy Life. So it'd be nice to see some of that here as well before they go into the Tokyo Game Show. But yeah, I'm excited to see more of that as well. We can at least expect that at the TGS. So
definitely, yeah. All right, what's your next prediction, Daniel?
Oh man. Well, I'm a huge fan of my NSO titles, and people know that it's been about a year since they announced certain NSO titles that still are not on
so weird
the service. So I believe what we're left with now is obviously Mario Party 3, which still hurts my soul, and I believe the other one is 1080. That's the last one that hasn't the list of 5, because the other 3 have been released at this point. So we'll probably get at least a release date for one of them, perhaps. And then if they want to, they're going to list out some more that they plan for in the future that we probably won't see for another year. But yeah, N64 and GBA, they hold the Nintendo 64 and Game Boy Advance in this like high sacred podium, and they announce them early in advance, and then they dedicate like an entire update to one. But I think what's more exciting is that we recently got Quest for Camelot, a licensed game on NSO, and I'm like, what does this open for us for more licensed titles to appear on NSO? If you can get us as obscure as Quest for Camelot, like what can we expect to be on the service from this point as well? Because there's a lot of licensed games that deserve some attention as well.
Out of nowhere, that was so weird that we got Quest for Camelot, and that does hopefully open the door. I agree, Daniel. Hopefully open the door to other really good licensed games. Not, Quest for Camelot is what it is, but man, 4 words: Astro Boy Omega Factor. I want that on NSO GBA so bad.
So good.
Oh God, I want it. But
time for Lego Racers.
That's true.
This is the time.
But yeah, the whole Mario Party 3 thing is mystifying. They did 1 and 2 so quickly. I don't know where 3 is. It's so weird. It's personally my favorite of the first 3 games in the series. So I hear you, Daniel. I'm kind of missing it. 1080 is near and dear to my heart, though. That's if I had to pick one it would be that first. I just adore that game so much. I'm really looking forward to seeing. I know, and our patron Top Dog would probably want to kill me if she heard me say that, because she's so excited. She's like the biggest Mario Party 3 stan I think I've ever met. But yeah, I get it. I mean, I want both, but I have to give the edge to 1080 if I had to pick. Sorry, Mario Party fans. But yeah, I agree. I see some NSO updates coming for sure. All right, my next one hurts my soul because it's kind of a two-parter. It's a bad thing leading to a good thing. But so I'm going to make the easiest prediction ever. We're not going to see Rhythm Heaven. I don't know if we'll ever see it again. Obviously, I want it, but Nintendo's like, what's a Rhythm Harvin? But we got two Wario. We're getting to the second Wario game, or WarioWare game, instead of any Rhythm Heaven on the Switch. And so I do think they're going to take the opportunity to remind us about WarioWare Move It, and they'll show us some new micro games and some maybe some new multiplayer modes. I almost had kind of forgotten that we're getting another WarioWare game, but then it popped in my head, and I'm like, oh, this is probably the perfect time to remind us that yes, there is indeed a WarioWare game releasing quite soon.
I love me my WarioWare. Just to see that there's a successor to Smooth Moves has me excited, because that's like my favorite WarioWare game. That I have a lot of memories just playing that with family. A lot of silly antics and just funny moments, and having that be revived in a way with Joy-Con, which is a bit more. I'm assuming it's going to be a bit more accurate, because one of our biggest issues was we had to have that infrared bar and pointing very specifically for certain games, and that was a bit frustrating. So and it's just WarioWare. I mean, it's just the wackiest, silliest series out there for some of us, and I want to see what more there is. And I guess we're going to be hearing more of Wario's new voice too when we see more information on that.
Yeah, that's true. It would be kind of cool if they did like a voice actor reveal for who's going to be playing Mario and or Waluigi going forward. I don't really see them doing that, but it would be kind of cool to know who's going to be at that helm.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're not going to know until we roll credits on those games who the new voice talent is. I definitely, I think I expect updates on existing announced games. I think that's a broad, like, yeah, we're definitely going to see those because Nintendo wants us to buy those. So, and as I said, I think this is the last Direct before most of those games, if not all of them, release. So I think we're going to get, a pretty good push on all of those games that we've heard of.
Yeah, agreed. All right, Steve, what's your next one?
Oh man, you ever have one of those things where it just leaves your mind? I was thinking about it intensely while you were talking, and now I'm like, what?
I hate that
I was
all
going
the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
So now it's just gone. It's up in smoke. Wow.
Well, I can give you a little time, and you can.
Come back to me because it was there and it was good. I swear. I think.
I have one that I know you'll want to comment on because so I have a pretty good guess that a pretty good assumption that all three of us here are massive Zelda fans. And,
that was it.
Just
okay,
okay,
keep
good.
going.
Go
keep
for
going.
It. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So until about a week ago, I would have predicted that maybe we'll see something about Tears of the Kingdom DLC. Clearly, that's not happening anymore. But I usually predict this, and I feel like I'm just going to keep predicting it because I have to be right eventually. And if they're not doing DLC, but obviously they still want to push Zelda, I would think. Wind Waker and Twilight Princess?
Oh, that isn't it.
That's not it. Okay.
No, but I do like that.
I don't think.
I think it's absurd that it's not out or here yet, but I feel like if I keep predicting it, it will eventually be right. I don't know. Eventually.
I like the idea of this, and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to piggyback into what my now remembered prediction was.
Okay.
So I do agree that Wind Waker and Twilight Princess have been done at some point because a lot of people talked about them for quite a while. However, the whole Nintendo rumor community got fooled into thinking Star Fox Grand Prix was a real thing. So I don't know. But my prediction was that we're going to get a new 2D Zelda.
Oh, please,
there have been rumblings about a 2D Zelda in the inner circle of the games community for quite some time now. And it does seem weird to me with the astronomical success the series has enjoyed since the launch of the Switch that they wouldn't have taken the Mario route and had a team splinter off and say, okay, you guys are kind of new to Zelda, so we're going to have you make a simpler Zelda game, and then we'll graduate you to, I hate to say it, but like the A team, right? Like the triple A, next 3D Zelda team. So I can see them kind of structuring the franchise internally the same way they have Mario, where they have kind of their less experienced developers working on 2D games until they feel that they're ready to graduate them to working on, these gargantuan mainline sequels that they're doing. So this is more of a hope than like a legit prediction, but 2D Zelda, come on, it's time for a new 2D Zelda. We haven't had a brand new 2D Zelda in a long time. I'm ready for it.
God, me too.
Was like the last actual traditional 2D Zelda Link Between Worlds? Was that the last time we got an original one? Because Link's Awakening was just like a remake, but we haven't had like something from the ground up like that. So it's such a long time. So I was always thinking to myself, like, are they going to eventually do the Oracle games in the same style as as Link's Awakening? But either they can do that, but I would love to see an original idea as well, because I feel like we've seen a lot of these ports and remakes coming from the Zelda series, and to see something new in the 2D model would be really appreciated at this point, because some of us are a bit tired of exploring 3D Zelda. There's a lot a lot of hours gone into that at this point, but right now.
God, yeah, add that to my list of hopes as well. I would love to see a new 2D Zelda. And just kind of on that note, not that this is prediction, it would be so nice if we got some kind of like 3DS remaster series so we can play some of those amazing games that are stuck on the 3DS on the big screen if we want, like A Link Between Worlds, Kid Icarus Uprising. Obviously, that's like a dream of mine. But there's so many great games stuck on the 3DS. And I say stuck because I love the 3DS, but it's not a thing anymore, really. And I would just love to get some of that stuff off that platform and playable on Switch. But I digress. Daniel, what's your next prediction, man?
That kind of just bleeds into one of my other predictions, was seeing some kind of 3DS title also coming to Switch, because in the last Direct we also got Luigi Mansion Dark Moon, mentioned that earlier, and I'm trying to think like what kind of game on the 3DS would function well if we transfer that from the 3DS console to Switch. And there's someone here. I mean, you guys mentioned Kid Icarus is like the one that a lot of us want to have on there. But even some of the Kirby games, like if you got Planet Robobot from the 3DS onto there, like one of the best Kirby games ever made.
Yeah.
Gosh, like, could you do like Samus Returns on there as well? Because just to get another Metroid game on the Switch would be awesome. And just have Mercury Steam just jazz that one up. God, I would say a game like the Bravely Default series, but there are some functions of that it feels like they're so ingrained with the 3DS, like with Street Passes. There's certain moments where like they use the camera at some points, and it's like it's hard to imagine that transferring to the Switch seamlessly with the same experience that you would have on the 3DS. So that one's a harder one to say. But are there any other kind of 3DS titles that you would like to see come to the Switch and make that leap?
Ooh,
God.
Man.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just mentioned Bravely Default, and I agree that there are certain challenges there. Personally, I'd love to see a Bravely Default, Bravely Second, like, dual release, just because Bravely Default 2, it was fine, but it was just, for me at least, a significant step down from both Default and Second. And yeah, so I'd like to see that series return on Switch in a better form, and Bravely Default 2 didn't do it for me. I have long wanted to see the 3D remakes of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask come to a bigger screen, because they're such good remakes, and I, again, want to play them on a platform other than 3DS. Not that I'm thinking it'll happen necessarily, but I would love that, personally. What about you, Steve?
I've got a call out too, and these were ready to go. I'm glad nobody took them. I knew the first one wasn't going to get taken, which is just OG Fantasy Life. I love that game. It's my favorite 3DS game of all time. The other one is Pilot Wings. I actually quite enjoyed Pilot Wings on the 3DS.
Me too.
I just want a new Pilot Wings, so I would take it.
God, I would love a new Pilot Wings. I really do love that series, like you said, Steve. And I mean, as long as we're just saying, big wishes, I would love a new Wave Race as well. It's not going to happen, but sure, that would be amazing.
The 3DS not getting a Wave Race was a grave injustice all its own.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah. Well, let's see here.
Last one for my list would just be if I want to see Project Cross Zone come back in some way.
Ooh, yeah.
Get those titles back in somehow. That would be awesome.
I love those games.
That would be really cool. The pixel animation in those games is so sexy, and to see that on the big screen, oh man, I would love
that. So good. Project Cross Zone 2 has a chapter where it's characters from Fire Emblem Awakening and Tales of Vesperia, and I'm like, this is the Daniel chapter right here. I want to see this happen again.
And sadly, if I'm being honest, it's probably the only non-mobile game that I would ever get to play as X and Zero in for like at least the next decade. So that's, unfortunately, I'm not predicting a new Mega Man game, that's for sure. I'm kind of running to the end of my list here. What about you guys? I think, Danny, you said you're pretty much tapped out as well.
There's still some here as well.
Yeah, I've got
okay.
Did you have it? Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
So I'm going to we haven't talked a lot about third-party stuff. So real quick, I'm gonna throw out one that I think is almost a gimme. Metroid Prime 2 and 3 getting announced.
That was
I think, but I'm really curious to see what Sega and Bandai Namco are up to with we don't know of a lot of stuff. We just got Samba de Amigo, so I bet we get some kind of DLC announcement for that game, like further music tracks coming to the game. But I'm hoping that we get an update on Sonic Superstars, because that again is also nearing release, and we don't have a whole lot of footage out there, particularly of the Switch build. So I think that we would get a pretty meaty update on Sonic Superstars, and I have nothing for Bandai Namco. I just want to see what they're doing. Maybe a Tenkaichi 4 announcement for Switch. I would like that. I don't think we're getting it, but I'd like it.
I actually did have Sonic on my list as well. I think there's pretty much no way that Sonic Superstars doesn't make an appearance in this Direct. And I like you, I hope it does, because I can't wait to see more of it, particularly the Switch build. But I just need to see as much more of that game as possible, as soon as possible. And also agree, I agree partially with what you said about Metroid, Steve. I kind of thought, and this is on my list as well, that we're going to see Metroid Prime 2, but I don't know that we'll get 2 and 3 announced at the same time.
Ooh.
I think maybe they're going to drip feed it to us.
I disagree, and here's why. This feeds into my larger conspiratorial feelings about Nintendo. But I think Metroid Prime 4, which we're not going to see, has been the victim of the same thing that happened to Breath of the Wild. So I think that it took so long that Nintendo was like, just move it to the Switch 2. Like, make it cross-gen. We'll give you more time that way. It'll probably sell better that way. So now, and I think the original plan was like a drip feed. Prime 1 HD, Prime 2 HD, Prime 3 HD leading up to Prime 4. And I think now there's kind of like this, oh shit, everything's going wrong. Whip these two out the door so that we can give breathing room between this and 4. Because they just want to kind of get them out the same way. I think we're basically going to get the same thing we did with Pikmin 1 and 2. Where they're just going to be like, yeah, here's 2 and 3. If you liked them, they're going to be digital only, and then in 3 months we'll release them physically if you want them. But by then we'll probably be talking about Switch 2, and you can talk about Prime 4 then.
Right.
Yeah, I've been wondering what's going to happen with Metroid Prime, because like, if it wasn't for the Switch 2 presumably coming a lot sooner than we're expecting, like I would expected Metroid Prime to be released fairly close to that release window at some point. And I wasn't sure what was going to happen with 2 and 3, because I feel like normally it would have been too soon to see anything with Prime 2, considering we just got Prime 1 earlier this year. But I don't know anymore. Like I don't know what they're planning out there with their schedule. So I think I'll see at least 2 remastered. We'll see. I don't know about 3 as well. I would love to see both of them. I actually like Metroid Prime 2 more than some people think. I'm one of those sickos. So I would love it. Seeing what happens with those, I don't know. I want to see them. If they don't show up, I'm not going to be surprised. But if they do show up, all the better, because I love this. I want to see more of those GameCube titles, and I guess Wii with Metroid Prime 3 come over, because that's been kind of a trend happening lately.
Yeah,
that's true. I guess another one that I have, I think this is pretty safe. We're probably going to see at least one track from Wave 6 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Course Booster Pass, or Booster Course Pass, whatever the hell they're calling it. They have, I think in the last Direct, they led the Wave 5 reveal with the Squeaky Clean Sprint track. So I think we'll probably get like a teaser sneak peek of the brand new track coming in Wave 6, and then they'll say, coming, in November or something. We won't get the full lineup revealed, but I think we might get like some attention paid to it, and at least the new track from that wave.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I had mentioned in our little news update, was that if we don't see like the full wave, we'll probably at least get like a track or two, just because Nintendo's weird like that and they're not going to show us the whole thing yet. Yeah. But yeah, I imagine that wave is going to come out around the time that content is going to be ending, like new content is going to be ceasing for Mario Kart Tour. So whatever shows up in this game, whatever shows up now, I don't know if we're going to get any. I hope we get a new track, because the trend is to get a new track and then put it into Tour and like an update or two later. But if that service is ending, I don't know if we're just going to get only returning tracks this time or not. It's hard to tell.
I feel like to close out such good DLC, it would be really sad to close it with only returning tracks, especially because the brand new tracks in it have been stellar. So my hope, and it's a selfish hope, is that we still get one even if Tour's not getting it. But I agree, Daniel, it'll be real interesting to see how they kind of allocate those development resources, and if Tour did in fact factor into, how they were creating new courses for 8 Deluxe.
Now, I have a question for you guys. We were just talking about third parties earlier, and I want to go back to that really quickly, because one of the other most consistent, outstanding supporters of the Switch have been Square Enix. And they've already released, a bunch this year on the Switch with the FF Pixel Remaster Series, Theatrhythm Final Bar Line, Octopath Traveler 2. Do you think they've got something else cooking for this Direct that we might see?
I feel like there's a lot of stuff they've been working on that we need updates on.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Quest 3 was getting an HD 2D.
Oh, where is that? Yeah, where is
saw
it?
Once and then it just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah, so I feel like they owe us that. Well, I hate to say owe us, but I feel like it's time. Like, they should talk about that. I'm never going to not predict Chrono Trigger just because I want it.
Same, yeah. Every time I scroll past Chrono Cross on my Switch, it hits me over and over again how absolutely bizarre it is that they remastered and released Chrono Cross before re-releasing its prequel on modern non-PC platforms. It's just the weirdest thing. So hopefully they'll actually do that. It's the only thing that if they did, it would make me slightly disappointed is because, after Live Alive, they did mention around interviews at the time about Live Alive that Chrono Trigger was actually under consideration as being remade in HD 2D. And so I feel like if we do get a port to Switch, then maybe that's off the table. Maybe not. But I feel like I have just a little smidge of hope that it could actually happen, and that would definitely put, dampen those hopes quite a bit if we just got a port at this point.
You know what, though? I don't care. Just put it on there in some way.
It's still Chrono Trigger. I agree. It needs to be on the Switch on everything. Yeah. It's freaking Chrono Trigger. Yeah. Daniel, you have
I guess if we're doing third party for the moment, here's one. Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition.
No, that's
good one.
Perhaps it might happen. We'll see. I don't know, but it would be cool to see that happen. I love that game.
Yeah, Ubisoft has been a little quiet on Switch stuff lately, it feels. And I don't think any of their new Assassin's Creed projects are going to make the jump over. So it'll be interesting to see. I agree that they've got to have something, and I hate to say it, but it's a safe prediction, but I'll throw it out there. We're going to see Just Dance.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, on the Ubi front, though, another game that I'd really like to see more of, and it was at PAX, and I sadly didn't get a chance to play it, even though I really wanted to, and that's Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. I want to see more of that game, and it's weird for me to say that, because typically I don't really care about Prince of Persia, but man, The Lost Crown looks so damn good, and I would love to see it. And, I could maybe see it appearing in a Direct. Or in the Direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. That's like will be like a soft prediction, I guess. But I agree, Daniel. Beyond Good and Evil does make a lot of sense.
And then if anyone else has any other ones, please speak now.
I have one. Oh, I have two questions. I'll split them up. One more at the end. But for right now, I have to ask it. Do you guys think we're going to see Hollow Knight Silksong?
No.
You said I was avoiding the F word, and you said the S word.
Okay. How could I? I don't think we're going to see it either. I don't either. Agree.
I have a weird theory that we're not going to see a Sora amiibo for quite some time. I think we're going to get one. But at this point, again, I'm going to sound like a broken record for the next year and a half. But I think that, and we've talked about this elsewhere on the channel, but there's a lot of Switch 2 rumor information going on about what its capabilities are. And I'm not going to go that far into it. But what it does mean is that for backward compatibility, Nintendo now has the opportunity to make patches for games to make them perform better, if all of what we've been hearing is true. And that means you very well have an opportunity to upgrade Smash Ultimate and sell it back to us again, or be nice and give us a free upgrade. And I bet that's when we start seeing a lot of these older Switch games getting new life, where Nintendo says, hey, here's an upgrade for this. And since we have an opportunity to talk about it, here's like a new thing that we're also going to sell you with it. And I bet that's when we see a Sora amiibo. Like it gets a Switch 2, resolution patch or upgrade patch of some kind. And then they're like, hey, in case you still want to buy stuff, here's amiibo Sora and you can have them. But I've been wrong about Sora before. Very famously wrong about Sora before.
Right.
So
that's true.
Take my prediction, wad it up in a ball, and predict the opposite of it. And that's probably what we're getting.
I want to agree with you so badly. I want a Sora amiibo really bad. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Sakurai would have mentioned it by now if it was. I don't see it happening. I would love to be wrong, and I hope that this take ages horribly. Not only would I like a Sora amiibo, I would like one for every alt that he has in Smash. I'd buy every single one. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that ship has that gummy ship has sailed, as it were. What about you, Danny? Do you think where are you landing on the Sora amiibo mystery?
They've given out the license to make Sora figures to other multiple other companies. To not give one to Nintendo would be odd. To choose not to do that. I don't know if they want to just have it stand alone and not be with this other series of characters, or maybe they are planning to do more than one, so that's why it's taking a little bit longer. They'll do Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3, at the very least, perhaps. Maybe the Dream Job, who knows? People want that Timeless River Sora as well. I know that'd be a classic one.
Yes.
But I think I'm going to hold out hope that it's going to happen at some point, because I need it to happen. I have a whole collection. I can't complete it without Sora. So Sakurai has to do that to appease me. Please, Sakurai.
To appease Daniel. He has to. It's just he doesn't have a choice. All right. Do either of you have any more predictions you want to throw out before we move on?
I think I'm good.
All right. Daniel?
NSO, we're going to get Retro Boy compatible with Labo. Doug Bowser comes out playing Mario Tennis in sportswear. He pulls the Switch away from his face. His eyes are bloodshot.
I love it. Well, it's funny. You kind of unknowingly preempted the other question I was going to ask you guys, which was just really quick. Let's go around. And if you have a crazy pie in the sky, never would happen prediction, but if you could have your dream prediction come true, totally pie in the sky, what would it be? Daniel, it kind of sounds like you already maybe were there, but I don't know.
It's more my just
crazy.
My wild prediction.
You're wild, yeah. Yeah. So, do you have like a dream, something that'll probably never happen, but just throw it out there, something crazy. Let's get chaotic here.
Oh my god, I don't know at this point. Chaotic, maybe not. I'm still hoping for some kind of revitalization of some of the older series of Nintendo, like Famicom Detective Club. Like, I'm still waiting to see if they're going to do another one of those. My top choice would be the Mysterious Murasame Castle. I would love to see that reinterpreted.
Yeah, I would love that.
Just breathe new life into that. Bring Takamaru back. I would love to see that happen. But
yeah. God, that would be great. Steve, any chaotic, crazy...
I'm going back to the well on this one. I've done it before. I'll do it again. Please, Sega, bring Phantasy Star Online, like not 2, the original one, back to the Switch. I want that so bad. That would be like my dream announcement for the Switch, is to get that back.
God, that would be awesome. I agree. And I guess mine. I mean, yeah, I've already talked about Rhythm Heaven. Of course, I want that, but that's not going to be it. Obviously, you guys know I loved Mario 35. Play the hell out of it. Pac-Man 99, Tetris 99 weren't my thing as much, but you know what would be, and I know John would agree with me, Panel de Pon 99. I want it so bad. That would be never going to happen.
That'd be mine as well.
I mean, yeah, there is precedent for a new 99 game. Pac-Man ends in October, doesn't it?
I think it does, actually. Yeah. I just don't think
so.
it would be.
No, I don't think it'll
it would
be paneled upon 99.
But man, if it
Why
was, I would be just screaming. I'd be so happy. So that's my pie in the sky. Wish it would happen. Never gonna happen. But all right, so this is where we move on to the spoiler part of this predictions discussion. So if you've been avoiding the leaks and you don't want to know what they are, duck out now. I'm gonna give you like 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's spoiler time. So, guys, obviously, the leaker Pioro revealed some pretty big stuff about what seems to be this upcoming Direct. And I'll just go ahead and put it out there. Donkey Kong and F-Zero. Whoa! All right, so I guess let's take these in turn. Donkey Kong in particular, I find to be really interesting because it has been a decade since Tropical Freeze. It is so far past time for a new Donkey Kong game, and I'm so glad that it seems to actually be happening. So let's just kind of speculate on DK. Do you guys think it's going to be 2D, 3D, a mix? What are you thinking this is going to be?
Oh man, you're not gonna love where my head's at with this.
Okay.
I always say that Nintendo likes to do the most exciting thing in the most disappointing way possible. And
Okay,
so
yeah.
I'm betting that for Donkey Kong, it's like Mario versus Donkey Kong.
Don't.
It's not like it's not country, it's not Tropical Freeze, it's not another 2D platformer. We know Retro's busy with Metroid Prime 4 and has been for years. It's not what you want.
No, don't say
that. And so
that.
I truly believe it's going to be like a really budget eShop only game.
Oh,
And
damn it.
it's going to have Donkey Kong in it, but it's not going to be the Donkey Kong you want. Either that, or it's like a remake of the original arcade game. But I don't think we're getting like modern Donkey Kong, if that makes sense.
Oh god, what if it's Donkey Kong 99? What if that's the new 99?
Oh my god.
And that's
Actually,
what it
that
is.
would be kind of rad. I would like
amazing.
that.
The endless climber is what they'll call it.
Yeah.
It goes up forever until you're all dead. Oh my god.
I don't think I've ever hoped that you are wrong more than I do right now. I don't think I have. Daniel, is your speculation about DK as depressing as Steve's, or what were you thinking?
Probably not as depressing. It's hard to reach that point. I would love to see a 3D game more than a 2D game. That's just me. Obviously not to the extent of what we experienced in Donkey Kong 64. There were some aspects of it that just make me want to pull my hair out because, oh my god, collectathon of collectathons over there. I would love to see it more focused, just a lot more focused of a 3D platformer. I think there's a lot they can do with that. I mean, you could still have a couple of the Kong family with you, accompanying you as well. But I mean, I want the core to really be for DK, maybe Diddy Kong as well. Just kind of put the focus on them again. And
How dare you leave out Dixie? How dare you leave out my girl?
She can be there too. It's
Okay, fine. Okay.
I'm not gonna leave. You know what I mean? The main Kong family.
Right.
It'd be funny if they axed her for Tiny again. That would that would be something
Brutal.
If they do, I riot.
But God, it'd be hilarious if it was like a new Diddy Kong Racing instead, and you can just like play as Donkey Kong as well.
Or a remaster, yeah.
Just ideas that I have. Gosh, there was another one. What was I thinking of until I got bamboozled by Mario versus Donkey Kong HD or whatever the hell it's gonna be.
Oh god.
No, yeah, but what are your thoughts and predictions for this, Ash?
It's gonna be they're gonna resurrect. Wasn't Donkey Kong Pilot back from the dead? Wasn't it like a Donkey Kong, or there was like a
Diddy Kong Pilot?
But wasn't it like a Donkey Kong racing game for GameCube that never saw the light of day? I feel like there was
something.
Yeah, but no, that's not actually where I think they're actually going. I'm gonna let myself believe and let myself get my hopes up. I don't think it's going to be freaking Mario versus Donkey Kong HD. It better not be. I find myself agreeing with you, Daniel. As much as I would love to have a new 2D Donkey Kong, I'll always play a new Donkey Kong Country game. Obviously Returns and Tropical Freeze were both outstanding. Yeah. I think it's ready. Your DK is ready for another try at 3D again. I, too, would like to see DK take another crack at 3D. And DK 64, good game. Obviously, some major design choices there that I wouldn't want to see return. But I think DK's right for another shot at a 3D platformer. And, you know, if it is 3D, that does kind of throw some cold water on the idea that Retro would have to be making it, right? Because if Retro's working on it, it would probably be 2D. So maybe Nintendo's making something in-house. 3D Donkey Kong. That seems likelier to me, because I do agree with you, Steve. I doubt Retro's working on a new Donkey Kong because, yeah, Prime 4. So, yeah, I'd like to see a new DK 3D game. I think it could very much be that, and I will let myself hope and believe that that is what we're gonna get announced. Either, you know, maybe they'll call it Donkey Kong 3D World or Donkey Kong Universe. I don't know, but that's really what I would like to see happen. So, but as long as it isn't Mario vs. DK HD, I think I'll be pretty happy with whatever it does end up being.
Don't worry, it'll be open world DK. You can swing on the vines at high speeds. You can ride on Rambi everywhere. It'll be amazing.
Nice.
Oh, that
I'll
would
never
be
do
awesome.
Oh, I want it so much.
It's too good.
All
They
right.
won't.
I know, right? Exactly. Anything else you want to mention about DK before we move on to F-Zero?
I'm ready to move on to
Yeah.
the other F word, F-Zero.
Yes.
I'm ready.
So yeah, F-Zero. I feel like the possibilities here are a lot slimmer than what we could be seeing with Donkey Kong. I mean, I think probably, let me know if you guys disagree, but it pretty much comes down to either a new game, miraculously, or like a remaster of probably F-Zero GX would be my guess.
I actually believe it's a new game.
Really? You do?
I do. I think that
Wow.
F-Zero is the 99 game.
Oh, that would be sick if
I think
it is.
it is just the Super Nintendo game with 99 players, and they can, you know, based on who's up front or whatever, they can add obstacles in front of you on the track or something to that effect.
That, as much as I want a new F-Zero, like a proper new current-gen F-Zero, that would be pretty damn cool.
So I feel like that they probably are not, I don't want to say interested, but not at a place where they could make a brand new, like, mainline F-Zero. So I think it's a, like you said, Ash, it's a spin-off or something. I think that an F-Zero 99 has that kind of high speed action sensibility to it that would make it addictive to play round after round after round, and also would require far less development effort and thus a lower investment on Nintendo's part, because they've clearly shown that they have very little interest in F-Zero, unfortunately.
Yeah, and one of Miyamoto's more infamous takes was that he talked about bringing F-Zero back and how they can't, you know, why would they bring it back unless they have something new and innovative to do with it? While the rest of us are just screaming like, no, you don't need just 1080p, 60 FPS online. That's all you need to innovate with F-Zero. We don't need some crazy new mechanic. Just give the people what they want. So, but of course, he's not making those kinds of decisions as much anymore either. So, yeah, I would still love to see even just a remaster of GX, and I think that's kind of where I'm going. That's my feeling, is that it's going to be a remaster of GX, maybe with some new content, who knows. But I do agree with you, Steve. Like, I don't think Nintendo want to invest all that heavily in it. And while I do think F-Zero 99 also fits that bill, I find myself kind of just feeling like we're going to get a remaster of GX with online play, remastered visuals, the whole shebang.
I would love to be wrong.
Steve has an interesting point with F-Zero 99, because I specifically remember playing in F-Zero X, there's a mode called Death Race, and it's just an infinite loop around and around, and your goal is to use your attacks that you're able to, like you can spin your card, you can ram left and right to eliminate the rest of the competition and be the last one standing. And whether that's a mode in that F-Zero 99 or just like the main core of the game, instead of just doing races themselves, I think that would be an interesting way to implement that to fellow people, but just 99 people, because F-Zero is just known for having absurdly crowded tracks with people just slamming into each other, because it's a very aggressive game in general, so having that many people would kind of fit with its identity. But I guess I'll be the one on the side to hope that it's going to be an actual new title that isn't 99, that's more of a traditional title. At least I would want that to be the case.
Yeah.
The thing you do with this one to kind of change it up and make it something that people will be replaying for time to come is take what they had from the F-Zero X expansion kit And in that game, you can have a track creator where you're able to a certain degree, create your own tracks. So if you put that into a new F-Zero game, and it could be a lot more advanced with our technology now, we can make tracks unbelievable and loops and everything. Have it be a certain way so that you can just share those tracks online, ride those tracks with your friends, to make your own cups if you want to online. I think that'd be really cool to do, its own F-Zero maker essentially. But to bring that mechanic back, I think would breathe a lot of new life into this, and like you could add a mode where you can have new hazards, or you can unlock boosts or those hazards that are on the tracks, like the fire hazards, and just kind of giving you an incentive to keep playing the game and have something to just flesh the game out. Because if they don't want us to, if they're saying that there's nothing else new that they can add to the game, we'll add it ourselves and with our track creator. I think that would be the best approach that they can take to this game.
God, I love that idea too. I would be super happy to see that happen. But okay, so we've kind of speculated about DK and F-Zero, those impending announcements. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like our official predictions here are for DK. Steve, you think it's a Mario vs. DK game, HD, something like
unfortunately.
that? Unfortunately. I know. And then Daniel, you and I both think it's maybe going to be a 3D platformer, right?
Yeah, I think it's more likely that in 2D.
Okay. Cool. So those are our predictions for DK, and then for F-Zero, Steve, you think it's going to be F-Zero 99.
Yep.
I think it's going to be F-Zero GX HD or something like that. And then Daniel, you're thinking kind of something in the middle a little bit, I guess.
It'd be a new game. So like
it'll be a new game.
We're all split in this one. I find that interesting.
Like a new game, but with repurposed content that was only on the disk drive, N64 disk drive in Japan.
Maybe I'm wrong here, but I think he was just talking like using features that existed, but not using the content necessarily.
Yeah, the concept, not the content.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The concept of the track creator would come back, and there'd be like, oh, of course there'd be like preset tracks and all that. Maybe a story mode, who knows? But hopefully a story mode that isn't gonna make me hurt myself the way that GX story mode did. That was terrifying.
Oh, hi, it's me again. I'm pretty sure that Steve got pretty much what Piora has said about F-Zero 99 and Mario vs. DK. So who knows? Maybe we'll be surprised about those. I'm actually pretty excited for F-Zero 99, but Mario vs. DK has a lot more to sell, especially if it is a mini-game, as Pioro suggests. But thank you for your predictions, guys, and thank you for watching. If you have predictions of your own, leave them in the comments. We'll read every single one of them. And if you want to, you can support us on patreon.com/GVGaming. We have a bunch of early videos and extra goodies, so if you enjoy our content, consider supporting us. But even if not, thank you for watching, and we will catch you next time. Bye.